Hi, my name is Patrick Harrison and I designed this CoreChair and I want to congratulate you on buying it. Thank you very much. So now you've got this beautiful piece of equipment and now you want to make sure that it's working optimally for you. So the first thing that's important is that you get everything set up properly. So let's assume you've assembled the chair and everything is put together. I just want to bring your attention to some of the adjustment opportunities inside. So when we remove the cushion, which snaps into place, then we can look inside and we'll see that there's 4 main bolts here that fasten the seat pan to the mechanism underneath. Those are in sliders, so it's at a point later on, if we're having any difficulties, we know that we can adjust the center of balance in there by loosening those 4 bolts and sliding that back. But most importantly, what I want to do is draw your attention to these 2 holes back here on either side of this metal bracket and the spring. This metal bracket secures the main bar underneath so that it controls how much the back can move back and forth, and it has 2 different settings on it. So at this point here, we can put in one of these small bolts using this little Allen key, and we have one more set of holes that we pull up the lever on the left-hand side. We pull that up, it disengages the lock on the J-bar, and then we can slide that hole back in just a little bit further until we find one more set of holes. So when we see those holes, now we can put in this set of holes. This set of holes would be set up for somebody who's 5'5" or less, and the other set of holes that we saw are for somebody who's taller than 5'5". So you basically just use this bolt, secure that into place, and that should be the fitting for you at that size. So now you've got your CoreChair all put together. Now we want to make sure that it's fit properly so you can feel the balance and get the most out of the chair for your support through the day. So the first thing you're going to do is have your chair set up, your back's assembled, reach to the back lever on the left-hand side, pull that lever up, and then reach under and pull that back as far back as it'll go. So it's now away from the seat itself. So the shape of this seat is designed so that it distributes your forces, your sitting pressures, across your whole thigh. So you've got this sculpted pocket here. Your sit bones and your tailbone sit into this pocket, and the pressure of your hips goes here and out onto your thigh. So that gives you a nice even pressure distribution, good sitting stability, good comfort. So now when you sit in the chair, you get in front of it, you sit down, and you make sure that your bottom feels nice and comfortable in that sculpted pocket. So the other thing we want to look at is what's the height of our knees versus our hips. Our feet are flat on the floor. And we want to have a slightly downward sloping thighs so that our pelvis stays more vertical naturally. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reach back and we're going to pull up the lever on the left-hand side. And then we're going to reach around with the right hand, lean forward, chest to the knees, pull the back in until it clicks. And then when we sit up, that's the kind of support that we want to feel in this chair. So when you're sitting nice and balanced, you don't feel like you're falling or sliding too far forward. And now you can get the most out of it in terms of rocking the chair and getting all the activity out of it. So that's the best way to get your chair set up. Throughout the day, keep changing your height on it, open up your hip angles, get your pelvis more vertical, sit with your ears over your shoulders, arms hanging at your side naturally as you would when you stand. Get a nice natural lordotic curve in your lumbar spine, and you're good to go. Hi, so now the question is, how do we sit at our desk with this new chair that's all set up? Again, I'll just refresh you on the fact that your knees are lower than your hips, so you're now sitting a little bit taller, so your orientation to your desk is going to be a little bit different than it would have been in a traditional chair where you're sitting with a 90-degree hip flexion. So with the CoreChair, what we encourage you to do is make sure you're seated nice and balanced, bring yourself into your workstation so you're coming in quite close. You're going to make sure that your monitor is moved back. This is a laptop. This is not ideal for using for long-term use. Ideally, you want to make sure that your monitor is just about the height of your eyeballs to the top of your monitor so that your eyes can actually gradually slope down into your monitor. You want to be able to sit nice and relaxed with your ears over your shoulders, your arms hanging down at your side, nice and relaxed, the heels of your hands on your work surface so that you're working and there's no load, there's no stress.